Hi, hello everyone. This is probably the last part in a series of videos regarding to spouse or common law partner in Canada class. In the previous videos, I completed all the digital forms and the PDF forms. I will put all those links into the description below so that you can follow up, alright? In the digital forms, all the status is ready to submit. And in the PDF forms, all the completed form are uploaded in the portal already, alright? In this video today, I will explain about the additional application forms to see which form is needed for your situation, alright? And then after that, for the supporting documents, we will work on how to upload those documents into the group, alright? And how to group the additional supporting document for the submission, alright? And then after that, we process the payment and sign in the declarations. And the last step, that is submit your application. Guys, in the additional application forms, you will need to look into its drop-down arrow here to see which form applies to your program, to your case, all right? And the portal is used for many other programs, not only sponsorship. So you just need to scroll down every forms in here and take the one that you need. But how do you know which form that you need? You will need to open the final document checklist that we completed in the previous videos or in the part 9 of this series, all right? Also, beside the document checklist, you will need to open the complete guide IMM 5289 so that you can see the checklist forms and instructions in your specific countries, okay? And just open it now so that we can go back to the portal later and then refer back. Now we open that drop down arrow. Okay, the first one, schedule for economic classes, provincial nominees, it doesn't apply to you, so we just scroll down. Okay, just scroll down, like business program, not for you. Protected persons is not for you. Offer employment, you don't need to. Now, financial evaluations, you remember that in the document checklist you do have that forms. So in the financial evaluations, I put it as not applicable, the IMM 1283. Only complete these forms if the person that you are sponsoring, your spouse, has one or more dependent child or children, who has one or more dependent child or children of their own, okay? But in the document checklist, I put it not applicable already, so I don't need to worry about this form. It is on my case, all right? Now, let's go back to the portal and then scroll down for more forms. The next one is supplementary information for humanitarian. We don't need to worry about that because it doesn't apply to you. Now here's the form. The form use of a representative. I will be John Smith representative, and as you can see in the document checklist, in the part of both the sponsor and principal applicant, number 11, use of a representative, IMM 5476. I check mark in here already, and then I select on I'm appointing a representative. So I will need to fill out this form and then upload in the portal. Okay. I have a video regarding how to fill representative forms IMM 5476. I will put the link down in the description below, so please check it out, okay? So in the form in here, as you can see, you click on the download, continue with the link, and then here you go, that is a form. Let's assume that you completed the form already, and then now you go back to the portal and then you upload the completed form, all right? Please check out my video regarding of how to fill out this form, okay guys? Because I'm not going to fill out in this video today. Okay, so here's the form completed and uploaded. Okay, so we are done with this form. Now let's scroll down again and see which other form that we will need to do. Okay, after that, evaluation, Atlantic, statutory details of military service. We don't need to put it in if we have nothing to claim on the military service. A declaration from non-accompanying parent, offer employment. It seems that it doesn't apply to my case, okay? So just scroll down and then see which one applies to your situation. I'm going to the complete guide IMM 5289, and then in here I will enter the information in here to see if any other forms that are missing. My spouse and the country is he is living in Canada now with me, and then other country that he is from Vietnam, and then I get the checklist. Okay, and the checklist in here, as you can see, the sponsor must have that form IMM 1344 that is undertaking, that is in the portal already. The sponsor evaluation and questionnaire, we did complete the form. Also, that is a form for the sponsor. And about the principal applicant, I did complete that form IMM 0008, and Schedule A we did, and additional family we did, and then that form IMM 5562, that if it applies. Okay, but for that specific country, Canada, no extra form. Canada, for the document, no special instructions, and in Vietnam there's no special instruction for the documents in this country. Okay, so all is good, we don't need to do any other forms. So let's go back to that portal. Okay, here you go. When I scroll down and then I see that there's nothing, no other forms apply to me, then I move on to the other supporting documents for my immigration program. All right. Now, in the supporting documents, you will need to follow the name convention to label your documents. That is last name, first name, document type, and the number. Okay. And on this side, on the left side, you see the document names with the group of the names. On the right side, that is the upload, and then you can upload up to 10 files. And then the attachment will show up in here. Okay, and for example, in the travel documents and passport, I don't think that we have more than 10 passport to upload in here. Okay, so in the case of John Smith and Peter Smith, we have only 2 passport. All right, police certificates and clearances, you also upload in that column. And the photos in here, photos here, don't be confused with the wedding photos or any other photos to prove for the relationship. Okay, that is the photo size of that PR, permanent resident, the front and the back. Now next, that is a birth certificate. That is the birth certificate of the applicant and the dependent in the application. Birth certificates of John Smith and Peter Smith in here. And next, the last one in that group, that is a proof of status. It means for the sponsor, the principal applicant, and the dependent in Canada. Okay, and then if you need to know more information about that, just click into the little I in here, and then you can read all. All right, so let's upload all the documents that John Smith, Peter Smith, and Laura Smith has in this application. So guys, I have just uploaded all the supporting documents for John Smith and Peter Smith in these applications. Okay, so in those documents, I follow the instructions for name labeling, that is for last name, first name, and document type. Okay, so in the part of travel document and passport, I put Smith John valid passport. I put it all in here. Okay, and then Smith Peter valid passport, I uploaded in here. All right, next is the police certificate. I put it on here with the instruction Smith John police cert, and the photos with his name and front photo, back photo. For Peter Smith as well, front and back photo, and also applies to the birth certificate for Smith John birth certificate translation, Smith Peter birth certificate translations. And for the proof of status, I did upload the Canadian passport and temporary resident visa for John Smith and temporary resident visa for Peter Smith. Okay, and my name is Laura Smith, and I follow the instruction from the name labeling, last name, first name, and the document. Okay, and all uploaded in here. Now we are done with the supporting document. Now we have to do the additional supporting documents. That is very, very utmost important. Okay, so in here you will need to scroll down in that drop down arrow, and then you go down and then you group the document's name. Okay, so first, confirmation of nomination, you don't need to. The proof of language of proficiency, you don't need to provide for that spousal sponsorship. Now, for identity and civil status documents, you do need this type of documents, okay? So how do you know that you select the correct one? You will need to refer back to the document checklist and the complete guide. And its purpose is to name the documents in the same category so that the processing agent can spot them fast and correctly and have a sense of having enough evidence for a genuine relationship. Okay, and your responsibility is checking all the documents in the checklist in the specific country's requirements, sorting them out and putting them in the appropriate group. Of course, if you misplace a document, then the agent is flexible somehow. When you upload the documents, please have common sense, okay? For example, you don't upload the source of income in the identity category. However, you can upload the letter of support in the same category of proof of relationship to sponsor because you see those documents are in the same group in the document checklist. All right. So the key point is read thoroughly the checklist and the specific country requirements that I mentioned before so that you don't miss any important documents and upload the right documents in the right place. Now, let me take John Smith's case as an example to demonstrate you of how I identify the document names and then upload it in the additional supporting document, okay? The first one is identity and civil documents. I put the marriage certificate and divorce certificate, okay? And then in the letter of explanations, I put down all the letter that I need to explain to the IRCC about forms. Regarding to the proof of custody, I uploaded in here with the agreement from the lawyers and his ex-wife. Okay, and about the employments and source of income, you will need to look back into the document checklist and then we'll see you will need to provide the letter of employment and about the income. I think that in the source of support, they need at least 2 documents. Okay, so the first one I provide it is the letter of employment and the second one is a notice of assessment. Okay, and then next, the very big chunk in here, the proof of relationships to sponsor. You will need to look back into the document checklist again and follow its instructions. Okay, so let me open that here for you and then we can review. Okay, so here you go, guys. That is a part of proof of relationships to sponsor. I checked back in here already. And in the yes box in here, I need to provide the rental agreement showing both me and my husband as occupants of a rental property. Okay. And the second one that I have, that is a joint utility account that I explained in the previous videos. Please watch it out. Okay. And then I do have the copies of government issued documents, that is my driver license and his driver license with the same address. Okay, so that is for the first one. And then I just scroll down to see which other document that I will need to provide. The next one is photos of wedding, engagement or outing, and in here it said that a maximum of 20 photographs to support for my relationship. Okay, and then the next one is at least 2 of the following 4 options down here, and you can see that is employment or insurance benefits, and also the proof of relationship recognized by my friends or family members. And I do have the letter of from my friends, number 1, number 2, and I have the letter from a pastor in the church to help me with recognizing our relationship. Okay, so that is for number 7. I will go back to that portal and then we'll see. You need to remember what you have in the document checklist so that you can match it up in the portal. Okay, and as you can see in here, the proof of relationship to sponsor, I put down all the documents that I listed in the document checklist. Okay, so that is what we have for additional supporting documents for John Smith's case. Now that comes to the fee payment. You can click in the pay your fees in here, okay? And then after that, you select pay for the permanent residence. And then this one you select no. and then continue. And then in here you select spouse, partner, or children. And in here you select how many, of course, one. And then the child that you have, John Smith has one child. And then you submit. The total is $1,375 for both of them. And then you log in and pay. Okay, so at this part you will need to register if you haven't got any account to pay for the IRCC fee yet. If you do have, then you put the email and password and then you log in. Okay, I have a video regarding to the topic of how to pay. Please watch it out. I put it in the link below so that you can see. Okay, let's assume that John Smith paid for that fee already, and then I will need to upload the receipt into the portal. Okay guys, so the receipt was uploaded in the portal for the fee payment part. Now next part will be the declaration. Okay, it will be signed by principal applicant, but before the principal applicant or John Smith signs in this case, I want you to review everything one more time and make sure that all the forms will fill signed, including both digital forms, PDF forms, and additional forms. Okay, and all the required and supporting document will upload. Additional supporting documents will categorize and upload, and a receipt will upload as well. Okay, so everything in here. Because missing any important documents to support your application may lead to a delay or even a return. Okay, and once again, I would highly recommend you review document checklist and double check the link to specific country requirements to make sure that you follow the instructions of documents for that specific country. Okay, now John Smith, the principal applicant, need to click in the start button. Okay, so here is a permanent resident application, consent, and declarations. Okay, you need to answer all those questions. You answer yes or no, it doesn't affect to your applications. Okay, number one, do you consent to be contacted by IRCC or an organization at IRCC's request in the future? John Smith is okay with that, so he say yes. And then the consent to release information for evaluation purposes. I, John Smith, in this case, agree that the information contained in this application related to my intended occupations, educations, and work experience may be shared with prospective employers in order to assist them in hiring workers. John Smith say yes, so it doesn't matter. Okay, so he said yes. And then electronically sign your application. The full name here is John Smith, and John Smith need to type and sign in here. Okay. All right, and then after that, complete and return to application. Yay, we are almost done, guys. The status is ready to submit. Okay, so now you can see that button. It comes up with submit your applications. Okay, so when you are ready, you can hit on the submit applications. And I'm not going to go beyond this part. This final important click is for you to hit. All right. And I'm very happy that we completed all parts in this series of spouse and common law partner in Canada class. I wish you all the best. Stay tuned and see you in the next videos. Bye bye and have a good day.